Miss Yellowstone. Kevin Costner's Taylor Sheridan neo-Western replacement is now available online. Following his exit from Yellowstone, Kevin Costner moved on to a different Western project, which premiered in 2024 but is now available on streaming. Costner starred as John Dutton II in the first 4.5 seasons of Taylor Sheridan's popular TV show. However, in between parts 1 and 2 of Yellowstone Season 5, news broke that the actor was leaving the series. Given that Costner's John was the face of the neo-Western drama, his exit came as a big surprise to many. In the months following the announcement of Costner's Yellowstone exit, more details regarding why he left emerged. However, many were also concerned with how Sheridan would write John out of the series. The Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2 premiere revealed John's fate, and the show was never the same. Perhaps John's ending was always written in the stars, and Costner's departure simply accelerated its timeline. Nevertheless, Costner quickly moved on to other projects once he was freed from the neo-Western drama, including his Yellowstone replacement, which can now be found online. Kevin Costner's first project after Yellowstone was Horizon, an American saga, an epic Western film series planned to have 4 parts. It centers around the exploration of the West in the United States before and after the Civil War, its timeline spanning 12 years. Horizon, an American saga. Chapter 1 was released in theaters on June 28, 2024, and almost 7 months later, the movie is available to stream on Netflix and Max. Unfortunately, Chapter 1 didn't perform so well in theaters. The film only grossed about $38 million against an estimated $50 million budget, making it a box office failure. However, Horizon, an American saga. Chapter 1 swiftly shot to the top of Netflix's charts following its addition to the streaming platform's library, suggesting it has the potential to succeed if the conditions are right. Perhaps the plans for Horizon, an American saga. Chapter 2 will be changed following Chapter 1's triumphs on streaming. Only time will tell what the future holds for Costner's Yellowstone replacement, though. Kevin Costner, who directed and co-wrote the epic Western film series, has been working on Horizon, an American saga, for more than 3 decades. So it's easy to see why the project means so much to him. When Costner's Yellowstone exit was announced, the actor revealed that his leaving was connected to his work on Horizon, an American saga. On June 20, 2024, Costner posted a video on his Instagram explaining his departure. He said, "However, according to Newsweek, there's more to the story behind Costner leaving Yellowstone. He and Taylor Sheridan, Yellowstone's co-creator and showrunner, had a falling out when Horizon, an American saga's filming schedule conflicted with production on Season 5, Part 2 of the neo-Western drama TV show. Rumors about the reasoning behind Costner's exit continued coming out in the months that followed, including that the actor reportedly was only willing to work for 1 week on Yellowstone, which Costner's attorney said was a lie in a statement to Entertainment Tonight. Whatever the case, Costner leaving Yellowstone undoubtedly opened up his availability. He was able to focus more of his attention on developing his epic Western film series. Unfortunately, for Costner, though, it's unclear what the future holds for Horizon, an American saga following Chapter 1's poor box office performance and mixed reviews. The second part of Horizon, an American saga, was supposed to be released on August 16, 2024, a couple of months after Chapter 1's premiere in June 2024. However, after Chapter 1's disappointing box office performance, Chapter 2 was delayed to 2025. As of the writing of this article, the second film doesn't have a specific theatrical release date, despite its premiere at the 81st Venice International Film Festival on September 7, 2024. Costner seemingly still plans on following through on making and releasing the other 3 parts of Horizon, an American saga. Chapter 2 is already complete, while filming Chapter 3 and Chapter 4 is unfinished. Ultimately, the future of Costner's Yellowstone replacement is unclear, but given Horizon, an American saga, Chapter 1's underwhelming debut, it's looking bleak. The sprawling landscapes of Montana, the dust settling after a galloping chase, and the weight of legacy hanging over a family dynasty. These are the elements that made Yellowstone a phenomenon. Kevin Costner's departure from Taylor Sheridan's neo-Western empire left fans in limbo, but Hollywood never lets an open range stay empty for long. Enter Miss Yellowstone, the unexpected yet compelling new series that has just been released online. And if you thought Sheridan's world of power, corruption, and Western justice had nothing left to say, think again. A new sheriff in town. Miss Yellowstone takes the essence of its predecessor and twists it into something bold, fresh, and unapologetically female-driven. Where John Dutton fought to protect his land with brute force and a Machiavellian mindset, the new series introduces us to Margaret Maggie Callahan, a rancher with her own scars, ambitions, and a steely resolve that makes her a force to be reckoned with. Played by the incomparable Rosamund Pike, Maggie isn't here to inherit the empire of a fallen patriarch. She's here to build her own. The series follows Maggie as she returns to Montana after years away, only to find her family's once prosperous ranch in shambles. With corporate developers, crooked politicians, and rival landowners eyeing her property, Maggie quickly learns that the rules of the West have changed, but the fight for survival has not. The Sheridan stamp without Sheridan. While Taylor Sheridan's fingerprints are nowhere on Miss Yellowstone, his impact on the neo-Western genre is undeniable. The show's creators, led by Emmy-winning writer and producer Melissa Rosenberg, best known for Jessica Jones, take what worked in Yellowstone and infuse it with a modern, feminist perspective. That means you still get the breathtaking cinematography, the high-stakes family drama, and the morally gray characters that make these stories so addictive. But Miss Yellowstone swaps the old-school masculinity of John Dutton for a new kind of protagonist, one who isn't defined by the legacy of a powerful father or husband, but rather by her own choices and resilience. A cast that can rival the Duttons. Rosamund Pike commands the screen as Maggie, but she's not alone in this neo-Western battle for survival. Jeffrey Dean Morgan steps in as rugged ranch hand and former rodeo star Clay Maddox, a man with a complicated past and an undeniable chemistry with Maggie. Meanwhile, Anya Taylor-Joy plays Cassie Callahan, Maggie's estranged daughter, whose return to Montana sparks a mother-daughter dynamic as volatile as the frontier itself. Other standout performances include Walton Goggins as Silas Tate, a corrupt land developer with his own vendetta, and Tatiana Maslany as the ambitious governor who sees Maggie's fight as both a political opportunity and a personal challenge. Themes that matter. At its core, Miss Yellowstone isn't just about land or legacy, it's about power. It examines how women in the West have historically been sidelined, even as they worked just as hard, fought just as fiercely, and bled just as much as their male counterparts. While John Dutton's story in Yellowstone was about holding on to the past, Maggie's story is about redefining the future. She doesn't just want to save her family ranch, she wants to revolutionize the way things are done. That means standing up against corrupt institutions, outwitting greedy developers, and challenging the old boys club that thinks she'll just roll over. Why fans of Yellowstone should watch. If you loved the complex storytelling, slow burn tension, and gut punch drama of Yellowstone, Miss Yellowstone delivers all of that and more. It's grittier, more contemporary, and refreshingly free of the constraints that sometimes held Yellowstone back. Without the need to cater to Costner's vision or wrap up lingering plot lines, Miss Yellowstone is able to carve out its own identity. And while it's tempting to compare Maggie to Beth Dutton, given their shared ferocity, Maggie isn't a sidekick or an extension of someone else's power. She is the power. The future of neo-westerns. With Miss Yellowstone already generating buzz online, it's clear that the neo-western genre isn't riding off into the sunset anytime soon. In fact, this could be the beginning of a whole new era, one where the Western mythos evolves beyond its traditional archetypes and embraces stories that were previously overlooked. Taylor Sheridan may have redefined the modern Western, but Miss Yellowstone proves that the genre still has plenty of room to grow. And as long as there are stories to be told, rivalries to settle, and untamed landscapes to conquer, audiences will keep tuning in. So saddle up, because Miss Yellowstone isn't just filling the void left by Yellowstone, it's forging an entirely new frontier.